This place has been such a part of my life for the last 20 years. It's hard to imagine. This place has been a part of my life for about 20 years or so. It's hard to imagine the kinds of changes that are about to happen. I can't imagine not being here.
It caught us all off guard to know that 2 weeks ago we were just riding and having the best snowboard day of the season and potentially of my snowboard career.
It really didn't hit me at first. I think news like that, it's just human nature. You're either going to react emotionally right away, or it's not going to hit you for a couple days. And I don't think it hit me for a couple days.
It's hard to imagine changing my lifestyle out here. I still want to work on the equipment out here. I still want to ski on the slopes. I hope I still can.
Well, Mt Mancelona, before I bought it back in '89, it had been functioning until '86. It was the only real destination Mancelona had. It was a manufacturing base. It was central to a lot of places, but Mt Mancelona was the ski place. A lot of people still stop and want to know what's going on. They see activity because a lot of them learned how to ski here.
I moved here in 1984, the year this place shut down commercially. Some lawyers owned it after that, and it was private after that. But I was never able to ski out here, and it was kind of disappointing. And this town kind of took a hit when this place closed. This town doesn't really have the image that it used to have.
Its role in the community has been, for 20 years, zero. I came in, I've just been slowly fixing it up as I went ahead. I think the loss of industry in the state of Michigan, the cutback on manufacturing and everything has really had taken its toll on Mancelona. We lost 3 manufacturing facilities in the last 5 years. Durham Automotive, McClarity had a Mancelona Metals on the south end of town, and then Maverick Metals on the north end of town. All of them are gone, and we've lost a lot of jobs in this community. You've also noted there's a lot of empty buildings downtown, which isn't unique to Mancelona, but it is. As far as a standpoint is, there's nothing really, no real positive influence trying to coordinate and bringing new business into town.
It It was amazing to see 10 inches of fresh snow. The weather forecast before we were going up there, we were nervous. We were almost going to call off the trip just because it didn't look that great.
You had just an amazing amount of snowfall overnight, 10 inches or something like that, which is great.
I was blown away because that was the most powder I've ever seen in one night. And here we are in Little Mancelona, Michigan, and I wake up and I see 10 inches of fresh snow and a hill that we get to ride all to ourselves. It was the makings for a great day of snowboarding. One day that I knew I would remember forever just because of who I was there with, the conditions, and the uniqueness of the experience.
And then, Mikey had the T-bar going. We expected it, but it was kind of unexpected. It was actually going to be running and working and functioning. So, basically to know that you had this entire playground to yourself was pretty incredible feeling to just be able to walk out of Joe's place and traverse over to the T-bar and just have it all to yourself.
T-bars start coming around the wheel and going up, and we all looked at each other like, are you kidding me? This is gonna happen today.
You're just out there with 3-5 buddies, just getting set to have an awesome day. That alone, the experience of riding the T-bar up for the first time, basically breaking ground, going up the T-bar track, knowing what was ahead of you, that set the tone for the entire day, I think.
Looking down at Mt Mancelona, going, this is surreal to have this much snow, our own area, and we just dropped in. We just went for it. And what's unique about powder riding, especially when you have that 10 inches, it's quiet. We were knee deep in snow, riding down, all in our own zone, and actually Ryan took out Justin because we were just making turns, having a blast, and that moment of going down, no noise, just living completely in the moment was fantastic.
Yeah, gosh! There's a cool traverse down to the main, I don't know if you want to call it the face run at Mt Mancelona, and there's 4 of us just raging down through the woods, blowing through drifts, and it was like mini pillow lines, which you never find in Michigan.
So even if I make it, even if you fake it, we'll be alright. Be alright. Be alright. Be alright. Let's go!
I've had a couple of people express interest in the place, and everyone it's like we all do it. Everyone seems to have a little better idea of what they can do with something than the people maybe that own it at the time. And I bounced a lot of ideas. I mean, I'm up and down all the time as far as what my vision is for the place, and I finally realized that, hey, what I've got here is in its infancy, and I really like the eclectic approach. I like you guys coming out and enjoying it and appreciating it for the just skiing and enjoying the outdoors and everything like that, like it was back in the 50s and 60s and 70s in its heyday. And I think there's a niche there that can be filled.
Well, despite our size, there's no way we could compete with Shush Mountain or Boyne or anything like that, but I really don't think we have to compete. I think this place has enough nostalgia to bring people in, and I would like to see this be a flourishing operation just so that people have something interesting to come see.
You know, it's never going to be a Boyne Mountain or a Nubs Knob. Never, ever planned on being that way. But it had its own little place, and smaller groups, more maybe challenging terrain.
Skiing out here at Mt Mancelona is a lot different than skiing anywhere else. We don't have the chairlifts. You know, I love the nostalgia. I love everything old, and this place is old.
It's still my home. I can just see this as what it is. There's an old, funky, eclectic ski hill.
So it was probably about 2 weeks after our trip to Mt Mancelona that I received an email from a contact of mine up in northern Michigan that said that Joe had passed away.
That was hard because the first thing I thought of was what Joe wanted. He had kind of been down in a funk over this place just sitting here. There's so much potential, but it was just not being utilized. And yet the last couple of years, I began really seriously working on these ski lifts and actually trying to get them fully functional, and I succeeded. And Joe was as excited as I was.
We were just there, and we just met with Joe again. I mean, and experiencing Mt Mancelona and what he had built, and really getting to listen to what his vision was for the future. I would say it took a couple days for me to really let all that sink in.
And it's strange to have sudden loss like that, to just catch you off guard. And right where my mind went to is the vision. Joe had a vision for the place, what is now going to happen to Mt Mancelona. It wasn't the selfish, but I'm never going to get to ride there again. It's, we're going to miss those opportunities to have days like we just had 2 weeks ago.
To see this potential actually gaining ground and perhaps even becoming something. When I heard of Joe's passing, that was hard because Joe had a really valid dream now that could become reality, and that was gone in an instant.
You know, Joe really was a friend. I mean, and I think our group in general became friends with Joe over the past 12, 18 months. I mean, in the past 2 years.
One story of his, you just felt like you were in his circle. You could sit back and listen to him and feel like you've heard all the stories before, but he just has a way of capturing you in.
And, you know, I think it'd be very easy just to shoot Joe an email or pick up the phone and call and find out what's going on, or if you were going to be in the area, just stopping in and saying hey and seeing what's going on, and just to, I guess in general, BS with him a little bit. I mean, he's just a fun guy. So that's really what's truly lost at the end of the day. It's not just Mt Mancelona. It's that we all lost a friend.
I certainly wouldn't want to watch the place just sit here and rot. This place needs to be enjoyed by somebody, anybody.
So I think really, for me, what Mt Mancelona should become is it's kind of an extension of what Joe's vision was, and so it's not for a day skier. It's not for a beginner. I'm sorry. It's not. It's kind of untamed. It's rough. It's gladed tree skiing. It's not groomed. and I think it should stay that way.
I mean, it would be really cool if a group of folks can come in and just say, we're going to keep this grassroots kind of that co-op model where if you're going to ride here for the weekend, bring up enough money for gas and leave some food behind for the next folks that are coming through. That would be the best case scenario and what I would like to see happen.
I don't know. I think that's what it needs to be about. It needs to be less about a resort and more about the riding.